Shalom, I'm Rabbi Michael Panitz. I'm the Rabbi of Temple Israel of Norfolk, Virginia, speaking to you from the pulpit of our synagogue. At this time, my message is entitled, Terror Here at Home and in Our Jewish Homeland. The secular New Year's Eve this year, just passed, made me wonder what it was like to go through the transition from 1941 to 1942, or 1942 to 1943, and so on, when the Second World War was raging. Here's why. Our congregation hosts 2 daily worship services using the Zoom video conferencing channel. Sundays through Fridays, we gather at 8 a.m. and at 5:30 p.m. to frame our day in communal prayer. This past December 31st, when we reached the end of the evening prayers and wished each other both a good night and a happy secular new year, one of our members expressed the thought that it was good to be finished with the sad year 2024. All agreed. I had a thought, but I kept it to myself at the time. I composed a quick prayer that 2025 would be different. Alas, that prayer has been answered in the negative, at least for now. We woke up on January 1st to learn of 2 terrorist incidents. One in Israel has become almost numbingly routine, but we should never grow complacent because it always represents an attempted mass murder. Hamas fired 2 missiles from Gaza into Israel. Fortunately, Israel was able to intercept and neutralize those emissaries of death. We were not so fortunate here in New Orleans, here in our own country. A jihadist, an American citizen and an Army veteran, but a person who has since pledged loyalty to the terrorist group ISIS, drove his vehicle into revelers on Bourbon Street and then continued his killing by firing weapons until police neutralized the terrorist. Sadly, his one-man killing spree claimed 15 victims, with many more wounded. In the welter of emotions that we are feeling in the wake of these atrocities, I would like to focus on 2 thoughts. First, Americans and Israelis need to reaffirm and reinforce solidarity. We are both victims of the anti-Western extremists who want to see a pre-modern world replace the society where people are free to cherish diverse faiths without being automatic enemies. It took the Western world centuries of fruitless wars of religion to transcend that medieval mentality. Let those who want to drag the world back to a more inhumane form of religion not succeed. Second, Americans and Israelis need to remember that this struggle is not likely to end simply because we have turned a calendar page. Learning to prefer a world different from the one inculcated by religious extremists for generations will only happen over a long period of time. Perhaps an appropriate wish for the one brief moment in history that will be known as the secular year 2025 is this: that the forces of intolerance will lose at least some of their stranglehold on so many Middle Eastern states and societies, so that the appreciation of a world where people can be different and yet accept each other can sink some roots. I'm sharing these thoughts just after the end of the festival of Hanukkah. The now universal Jewish custom is to light one lamp or candle on the first night of the holiday and to add a light each night, culminating in 8 lights on the 8th and final night. A long time ago, a different custom coexisted with this one, to begin with 8 lights and work down to 1 light on the final night. In terms of the world progress towards peace, it does not feel as if we have reached the 8th candle, the full illumination this year. Figuratively, it feels as if we've entered the space of the alternate custom, where the last hours of Hanukkah have only one brave light pushing back the darkness. But that one light is all the more important for precisely that reason. Terror has bridged the liminal space of the transition from 2024 to 2025. But this transition also sees some of the arms of the terrorist hydra weakened. Hostages are still imprisoned. May they go free in 2025. Citizens of our democracies still have to contend with jihadist murderers stalking our streets and with missiles arcing through the skies, seeking to sow death and spread demoralization. But we have made progress in the past 12 months, pushing back the darkness. May next year be better than the one now ended. Amen.